So in this lecture we are going to discuss about trigonometry. In trigonometry, basically what happens that we are discussing about the relationship between sides and angles. Trigonometry is basically the relationship between sides and angles. When we are talking about sides and angles, what do we mean by it? We say that relationship of any sort, it can be a function or it can be anything. Relationship angle is equal to side by side. This is what we define as trigonometry, that is the relationship of angle is equal to side by side. Whenever we are talking about what are the things that are, so let us suppose we are taking a, let us say we are having a wall and the wall is just hanging on land, let us say, and just we have to just reach to the top of this wall. Let the point be A, this point be B, and this point be C. So if we have to reach to the point A of the wall, so we have to go from point C. We can go from point C, at least from point C to point B, or then point B to point A, or what can be the other distance that we can take? We can take a ladder we can take from point A to C. This ladder, what we can call it as whenever we are talking about triangles, this scenario can be seen. This forms a particular triangle. Now if let us say we have to see, or we are a man is standing at this point A or point C and he wants to see a point A, then he sees it at an angle, let us say the angle be theta. The angle C, let it be theta. So the man sees the point A from point C with the angle of theta. It means that this is a ladder and ladder is inclined at an angle theta to the land. That is, land is BC and the ladder is AC. Now let us assume that we have to take out the relationship between the sides AB, BC and AC and the angle. Now what should be the relationship between the sides and the angle, we have to discuss in this lecture. That is what we call as trigonometry. So let us assume that we are having an angle theta. Now we have to take out, now finding out this value of sine. What is the sine? Means what is the value or what is defined as sine? See, basically when we are talking about sine, we say that it is a ratio of the side which is opposite to the angle theta. Opposite to the angle theta, which side is there? In this particular scenario, we are having the side AB as the side which is opposite to the angle C or angle theta, that is AB, upon the side which is we are having as a ladder, which is inclined to the land, that is the AC. So sine of any theta or sine, or we can talk about that whenever we're talking about the relationship of as a sine of an angle, that is equal to the ratio of the side which is opposite to the angle theta, angle whatever angle we are taking, and to the hypotenuse or the ladder which we are having as AC. Alright, this is what we define as the sine theta, or also called as perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So basically this ladder becomes as hypotenuse, and this wall is basically what? The perpendicular, what we are talking about. So like this only, there are several other functions, there are several other things that we are going to see in this particular lecture. But talking about other things, like we are having as cosine. What is cosine? Basically, like sine, we are talking about cosine. When we are talking about cosine, it says that it is the ratio of the sides. See, whenever we are talking about trigonometry, it depicts that we are talking about the relationship between sides and the angle, the relationship between the sides and the angle. We are always talking about the sides and the angle. So like that only when you're talking about cosine ratio, we say that it is the ratio of the side which is adjacent to the angle theta, the side which is adjacent to the angle theta and the hypotenuse, the side which is adjacent to the angle theta and the hypotenuse. In this particular scenario, the side which is adjacent to theta is BC. It is BC by hypotenuse. Where it is a hypotenuse? This is a hypotenuse. What is the hypotenuse? Basically, hypotenuse when you're talking about, we say that it is the side which is inclined to the theta. Means whenever an inclination is there, so whatever side is there or whatever the longest distance is there, whatever the shortest distance, that becomes basically what we are calling as hypotenuse. So in this case, that is AC. So we define cosine theta as the base upon hypotenuse. So this land is basically what we call it as also a base. So this is what we define as the basic analogies or basic functions of trigonometry, that is sine and cosine theta. Alright, like this only there are many other functions that are defined. Basically when you're talking about trigonometry, the things that are coming in mind are 6 functions. Basically 6 function we are talking about as sine theta, that is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse. We are talking about cos theta, that is equal to base upon hypotenuse. We are talking about tan theta. Now what is tan theta? See, whenever we are talking about tan theta, we say that tan theta is basically the, what we can call it as the sine theta upon cos theta. It means that when we are talking about tan theta, tan means, what do we mean by tan? Let us talk about tan first. See, tan is basically the tangent. It is a relationship between sides and angles, where tangent we are talking about. Now what is tangent here? The tangent theta is basically the ratio of sine theta and cos theta. So it is equal to P upon H upon B upon H. So by cancelling hypotenuse we get perpendicular upon base, that is equal to, here we can call it as the perpendicular upon base. So whenever we are talking about tan theta, sine theta, cos theta, these things are coming, and as a summary part, let us see that what things are there. Sine theta is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse, cos theta is equal to base upon hypotenuse, and tan theta is equal to perpendicular upon base. Now when we do the reciprocal of sine theta, we get cosec theta. Let's erase these parts here. Okay, now if you are knowing about reciprocal, what is reciprocal? Basically when we are doing reciprocal, what do we mean by that? It means that 1 upon whatever thing is present there, that is the reciprocal. So 1 upon something becomes a reciprocal of that particular object. Reciprocal of an object is equal to 1 upon that object. Alright, so like that only when we are talking about, let us say reciprocal of sine theta, is equal to 1 upon cos theta, that is 1 upon sine theta, and that becomes as, this 1 upon sine theta is called as cosec theta, also called as cosecant of the angle theta. Alright, like that, if let us say we have to take cos theta, and we have to find the reciprocal of cos theta. So what should be the reciprocal of cos theta? The reciprocal of cos theta is equal to 1 upon cos theta, that is equal to also called as sec theta or secant theta. Alright. Now, as we have discussed about tan theta also, so we have to see about tan theta also. Tan theta, basically when you're talking about the reciprocal of tan theta becomes 1 upon tan theta, that is equal to cot theta, also called as cotangent theta. Cotangent theta. Now we are going to discuss about the basic functions, the basic 6 functions that we are having here in this particular lecture. We are having it as, let me draw it once again. You're getting it as, let us say, a triangle is there. As we have seen there, a wall was there, a land was there, and a ladder was there. The wall became perpendicular, the land became base, and the ladder became hypotenuse. And there's an angle theta. Let it be A, let it be B, and let it be C. Okay. Now the basic six functions of trigonometry are what? There are sine theta, that is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Having cos theta, that is equal to base upon hypotenuse. Then we are having tan theta, that is equal to sine theta upon cos theta, that is equal to perpendicular upon base. Now when you are moving towards the reciprocal part or other functions, they are as cosec theta is equal to 1 upon sine theta, that is equal to hypotenuse upon perpendicular. Then we are having the reciprocal of cos theta, that is sec theta. Sec theta is equal to 1 upon cos theta, it becomes hypotenuse upon base. Then we are having the reciprocal of tan theta, that is cot theta, that is equal to 1 upon tan theta, that is equal to b upon p, that is base upon perpendicular. So these are the basic 6 functions of trigonometry that we are going to deal with in this chapter, in this lecture. Depending on this, let us solve an equation, solve a question regarding these things. Okay, one more thing I need to tell you regarding a theorem that needs to be told whenever we are dealing with trigonometry. Now what is that theorem? What is that theorem what we are talking about? That theorem is basically is Pythagoras theorem. The Pythagoras theorem. What is Pythagoras theorem, or what does it state? It basically means that when we are having any right angle triangle with us, in that particular scenario, in that particular feature, we are saying that, let us say the points be A, B and C. So it suggests that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the other two sides, AB square plus BC square. This is what we call as the rule of Pythagoras theorem. The rule of Pythagoras theorem only suggests this only, that when we are talking about any right angle triangle, when we are having any right angle triangle with us, this is a right angle triangle. Why this is a right angle triangle? Because we are having a right angle or 90 degree present here. This is an acute angle, this is a 90 degree angle. Alright, in the triangle ABC, which is basically a right angle triangle, there is a rule that is going to be taking place, that is there, that whenever a right angle triangle is formed, the square of the hypotenuse, that is AC square, will be equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, AB square plus BC square. So this particular rule, this particular theorem was denoted by Pythagoras, a Greek scientist, and then this Pythagoras theorem was ruled out in other also functions, other chapters, other let us say the other units also of mathematics. Now this thing can also be ruled out in trigonometry. How it can be ruled out, we're going to see here. Let us take a question that will be dependent on trigonometry also and Pythagoras theorem also. Okay, let a question be here that a triangle is given before us. Not this much. We are taking the triangle as, okay, let us say the triangle we are taking here can be anything. Let us say we are having triangle can be like this. Now this needs to be a 90 degree because we have to draw, or let's say we are taking an example as a right angle triangle, so there should be the right angle present here, and we are having, let it be denoted as P, this is denoted as Q, this is denoted as R. Alright, the sides can be, let's say 12 centimeter, and here we are taking as 13 centimeter. Alright, now in this particular figure, in this particular triangle, we have to deal and take out the solution of tan P minus cot R. Now how to rule out this particular question, how to figure out this thing, how to figure out. Now we're going to find about the value of tan P minus cot R. Now first of all, to find the value of tan P. What is tan P basically? See, whenever we are talking about any angle, in this case, what is the angle? This angle is P. So I have told that whenever we are talking about an angle, or let us say what is tan P? Tan P is basically sin P upon cos P. Is it? Tan P is equal to sin P upon cos P. So according to that, let us say that what is sin P? Sin P is the ratio of the side which is opposite to the angle. Which angle is opposite here? This is the angle that we are taking here, the first angle that we are taking as this. Okay, this is the P that we are taking here. Now the side which is opposite to this angle P is QR. The side QR is opposite to the angle P. That's why the ratio sin P will become what? It will become QR upon the hypotenuse. What will be the hypotenuse if this will be the perpendicular? This thing, in this particular scenario, this will become the perpendicular. So what will be the hypotenuse? See, this is a perpendicular. Alright, this is a base. So by analogy we can say that this will become the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse will be what? It will be PR. Like that, the value of cos P. What will be the value of cos P? The value of cos P, we have talked about that whenever we are talking about cos of any angle, it means that the side which is adjacent to the particular angle, that need to be the numerator. That goes in the numerator. The side which is adjacent to the angle, that goes to the numerator. So the numerator here becomes what? What is the numerator, or what should be the particular side? It should be the side which is adjacent to the angle P, which is PQ. So here we are taking PQ divided by what is the hypotenuse we have dealt before, that is PR. Alright. So like that, the value of tan P can come out as, this can be cancelled, it can be QR upon PQ. So it can be seen as QR upon 12. So the value of tan P is basically QR upon 12. Okay. Rest assured, next we have take out the value of cot P. Sorry, cot R we have to take out. We have taken out the value of tan P as QR upon 12. Now we have to deal with cot R. Now in this particular question, in this particular scenario, we are having the angle as R. So in this case, when you're having the angle as R, what is cot basically? First we have to deal with what is cot. Cot is basically 1 upon tan theta. As we have seen, that is the reciprocal of tan theta, that is equal to cos theta upon sin theta. Cos theta upon sin theta. So if let us say that cot theta is equal to cos theta upon sin theta, then in that case what we can suggest, we can say that, oh sorry, cos theta should not be there, there should be an angle that is needed here, that is cos r upon sin r. Why we are taking cos r upon sin r? Because the angle that we are needing here is r. That's why cot r is equal to 1 upon tan r. 1 upon tan r, that is equal to what? Cos r upon sin r. Now the basic thing comes here. What is cos r? What should be cos r? Now we are dealing with this angle. This angle let it name as 2. So here we are having the angle r. Now to deal with cos r, what should be done? Cos r should be basically what? The ratio of the side which is adjacent to the angle. Adjacent to the angle. In this particular scenario, this is the angle that we have taken, r. So what is the side that is adjacent to the particular angle? That is QR. So QR should be in numerator, and upon the hypotenuse. What should be the hypotenuse in this case? Let us say, in both the cases, when it was tan P or it was R, when we have talking about hypotenuse, we have to take this only. Why? Because they are connecting the 2 points which have formed the acute angles. That's why it becomes hypotenuse in both cases. So that's why we are taking the hypotenuse as what it should be, the PR. Alright. Then we have to take out the value of sin r. What is sin r basically? When you're talking about sin r, we say that, as discussed before, whenever talking about sine of any angle, that particular relationship is equal to the ratio of the side which is opposite to the angle. Opposite to the angle. Which side is opposite to this angle? This side is opposite to the angle is PQ. So you have to take here as PQ upon the hypotenuse, that is PR. So as previously we have seen, PR will be cancelled and we are getting QR upon PQ. Alright, now QR upon PQ, what it will become? QR, that is nothing, we have to find out the value of QR right now. And then we are having PQ, the PQ that is given as, the PQ that is we are having as what we have seen here, PQ. The PQ values we are getting as 12 centimeter. Alright, now we have to deal with the solution part. We have seen that tan P is equal to QR upon 12 and cot R is equal to the value that is what we have seen as same value, QR upon 12. So now what should be done? The value tan P minus cot R, that will become what? QR upon 12 minus QR upon 12, and that will become what? 0. So the solution to the particular question that we are having will be 0, since the values are coming as same. Now if let us say there was a condition present before us, in which it was to be said, that we have to take out the value of cot P. Then what would be cot P? It would be 12 upon QR. Why it will be? Because cot P is equal to 1 upon tan P. Alright, let the solution or let the question that we are having here to be moved here as cot P. Now what should be this solution? We have to discuss about this solution. Let us say in that case tan P is equal to QR upon 12, we have calculated it. Then we have to calculate cot P is equal to 12 upon QR. Why it is? Because that is equal to reciprocal of the tangent, that is 1 upon tan P. That's why cot P is equal to 1 upon tan P, that is equal to 12 upon QR. So now in this case we have to calculate the value of QR also. So how to calculate the value of QR? Can we get a solution regarding this? See, if we have to calculate the value of QR, what should be done? We are knowing that by Pythagoras theorem, we have to use here Pythagoras theorem. This is the stage where we have to use the Pythagoras theorem. So by Pythagoras theorem, we suggest that PR whole square or the hypotenuse whole square is equal to the sum of the sides, the sum of the square of the sides, that is PQ square plus QR square. So PR square is given as 13 square, that is equal to PQ square, that is equal to 12 square plus QR square. So by here what we can do, subtracting QR square both sides, subtracting QR square both sides, what do we get? Or let us say we have to subtract QR square. Okay, then we are having 12 whole square here, and then we are having QR square can be dealt it as also, it can be seen as 13 square minus 12 square. So in this particular case we can see that the value of QR square is 13 square becomes 169 minus 12 square becomes 144, that is equal to 25. So let us say, we can say that the value of QR, what it can be seen, the value of QR when we are talking about, as we have calculated that the QR square was 25, so the value of QR will become what? That will become 25 whole square root, that is equal to QR is equal to plus minus 5. But in this case, since this we are talking about distance, therefore the negative part will be not taken. Negative part should not be taken here. That's why the value of QR will only become plus 5 centimeter. Alright. Now as the question we are having that we have to calculate the value of tan P minus cot P. In that tan P minus cot P, what we have calculated? We have calculated that tan P is equal to tan P minus cot P. Now tan P was equal to QR upon 12 and cot P was equal to 12 upon QR. So in this case what it becomes, QR becomes 5 by 12 minus 12 by 5. Now we can take the LCM, as we are having the LCM of 12 and 5, what it can be, we can take it as I think 60, and then we can apply it here. 25 minus 12 into 12, that is 144 upon 60, and then we can find out the value that we are having as 9, and this can be seen here as 11, so minus 119 upon 60. So that becomes the value of tan P minus cot P. Alright, so this is the basic thing, basic structure that can be seen or found out by the help of using trigonometry and also with the help of Pythagoras theorem. Alright, the basic things, basic functions that we have discussed were sine or cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant and cotangent. These are the basic 6 functions that are dealt in trigonometry, and all the things can be seen with the help of the Pythagoras theorem. It can be dealt with the help of Pythagoras theorem in order to solve a particular problem that are dealing with right angle triangle. So this was for all my class. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next class.